Hey there. So the winter is here, as you can see, and seasons are changing. I've got some green grass and I've got some very dead looking trees. So I wanted to touch in on some subjects that are really poignant for this time of year that I'm finding is to be absolutely an imperative aspect of my own personal process and evolution in the time of year that seems to be kind of slower and much more subdued, I think, in most people's experiences. So the winter is a time of rest and kind of a point of rejuvenation. So as you can see, nature takes a break and leaves fall from trees and plants go down below to the ground. So just their roots and the real life force that is that living species, animal, plant, whatever it is, we all kind of go back down to our base self. And that means staying at home more, staying inside because it's cold. And I am lucky to live in Texas, in a part of Texas, Central Texas, where the weather is actually, it goes back and forth, warm and cold. So it can be a bit confusing here. But I will say that on days like this where it's a little chilly, it does help remind me of what this time of year is and what it can mean and how we can really grow ourselves in a really substantial way when it seems like we're being forced to take time and a break from everything. So the experience of growth during a time of rest, for me, that has been meaning a lot more evaluation and really focus and thoughtful intention behind my actions and what I spend my time doing. I recently discovered a need to take a break from many activities actually that had been quite supportive of my growth for the past few years actually, and I had been doing them consistently, fairly consistently at least, and I found that all of a sudden this season hit and then change just happened. All of a sudden it was just like a thunderbolt of lightning kind of a thing. And one day it just seemed to be that I noticed that all these things were unnecessary for me right now. It's beautiful and wonderful in all its own glory, and I decided not to question it, and instead I'm finding this absolutely beautiful and loving and wonderful, gracious sense of confidence and self-reliance that has come up. And because I feel, for myself at least, that it's a very feminine energy in regards to that I'm finding this kind of renewed sense of self and this kind of almost early spring-like growth, but not quite there yet. But I'm feeling this wonderful kind of fire in the hearth kind of building energy inside, and I'm feeling a lot stronger. I'm participating in activities physically, like working out and things of that sort that are much more supportive of that type of physical interaction with the world around me, so a lot more weightlifting and stuff like that. And I'm feeling invincible right now because I'm following that inertia, that flow that just kind of happens, and paying attention to that flow of nature and the flow of seasons. It's just such a really loving and beautiful way to approach life and living, because our whole life is about seasons. Every aspect of ourselves is about seasons. From the point we're born to the point that we're finally off this planet of Earth and this mothership, we're constantly evolving, and the seasons are a beautiful reminder of that. So if you live in a place where you have seasons and you're not in the lovely places that are all warm all the time, you definitely have seen this for yourself, and it is a lovely reminder to take a break, but it doesn't mean to stop. That's the thing that I've found to be the most important lesson for myself. So it's the activities that I'm finding that seem to be not the stopping, but the pursuing of is things that are very grounding. Anything that really provides a firm base to stand on is really the kind of activities that I'm finding are really compatible with this type of season, the winter season. It doesn't last for too long here, so it's, you know, it ends at winter solstice. That's the end of winter, not so much technically, but as far as the kind of astrological and, you know, spiritual aspects go. And that's when it's the height of it, because from that point forward, days getting shorter to then, right? I think it's December 21st, I believe, around there. And then right after that, the days get longer. So it's a beautiful and wonderful ebb and flow that occurs around us. And by harmonizing with it through our own efforts and mindfulness, I find for myself that it really creates this flow and this ease. As I've said before, it's like this wonderful river that you kind of catch the current of, and you just kind of, you know, lay back and just catch the next one as they come, you know. Food has changed for me. If you eat with the seasons, that seems to really go well with the change in seasons as well, because the foods, I believe, that are grown and typical for the time of year tend to be the ones that are the most supportive of our nutritional needs in that time of year. So a lot more root vegetables and things of that sort. And I've just been making sure to eat those in enough quantity, and I've noticed that I feel more energized. It's just been really a miracle. It's been quite interesting. Because just before this, I will say, I was building up to this kind of evolution that was happening, and you know, that's what this whole thing can be feeling like, is this tumultuous period of time, and then you kind of reach this point where you feel like, oh, I can ride this wave. This is great. This feels wonderful. So I'm trying to learn to ride more of these waves as they come through my life and come into my experience, and letting myself free to be the human form with the eternal spirit that's always around us and everything and everyone. I'm finding also through the practice of grounding and acceptance for myself, which is what all this is about, is accepting my needs at any time, and, you know, really answering to those needs and to those calls, is I'm finding a lot more patience with other people. That wasn't expected, and that was not my intention. I generally, deep down, I love all people. But how I interact with them and behave and react, it's all a human experience on top of that. But I'm finding lately a greater sense of ease and peace with other people in a much more expanded way than I had been able to exhibit and be in before. So that's been a great gift to me, because it means that the world around me isn't so hostile and combative and negative and, you know, all those things. So it's really interesting. But I'm finding this wonderful experience to be one that I love to share with you. So please join me in this month of this wonderful season, and let's find our flow in this, and find how winter can offer us what it has to teach us, and find that peace of going inside and coming back into that grounding of our peaceful, loving self, and finding that way that you can comfort yourself. It's cold outside, you need different foods, you want different comforts, you want to wear certain clothes. Go for it, do it. Anything that kind of intuitively harkens to you, pull it out, get it out there and put it on, eat it, whatever you need to do. And always take good care of yourself, because caring for your body is caring for your everything. Everything is cared for by your physical wellness. So much love to you, and thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Mwah.